I first have to show my note cards. Oh. Imagine what a classroom would look like if you had a constant goal of collaboration between educators and learners. Constructivism learning theory is just that. It has a main principle of collaboration in the classroom and learning as an active process. During my speech, I will define constructivism learning theory. I will look at active learning as a process, and also we will be talking about how to apply collaboration in a classroom. Exemplified in WGU and Bada and Olgenstein, the way people learn is by taking in their perspectives all around them. This is through reality that they've lived, also throughout their current learning experiences and even past learning experiences. Every learning experience is unique. Similar to snowflakes, you'll never find the same ones. The constructivism learning theory was introduced in China in the late 80s to early 90s. Quote, knowledge is only an explanation and an assumption, but not the final answer for all questions. Bada and Olgenstein, 2015. This was the first learning theory to look at education as a systematic process instead of an obstacle that you have to get through during your life. In my introduction, I briefly talked about learning as an active process, but now I will dive deeper into that. Learning is an active process that we constantly do during new learning experiences. We need to engage ourselves, our entire selves, which means engaging ourselves physically, emotionally, and mentally. Quote, our learning is intimately associated with our connection with other human beings, our teachers, our peers, our family, as well as casual acquaintances, including people before us or next to us at the exhibit. We are more likely to be successful in our efforts to educate if we recognize this principle rather than try to avoid it. Kurt S., 2021. We need to submerge ourselves into new learning experiences in order to take full application to it. Learning is also contextual, according to Bada and Olgenstein and Kurt S. Now that I've looked at learning as an active process, we'll go into how to apply constructivism learning theory in the classroom. One of the main principles of constructivism learning theory is collaboration. When you look at a traditional classroom, the focus is typically focused on the teacher, but in constructivism learning theory, we're changing the focus to students. Examples of how a traditional classroom looks like, and then how we can change it into a collaborative classroom, look like testing. In a traditional classroom, it would be assessments, correct answers. In a collaborative classroom, it's a process, and you observe the students, and you also are doing testing as well. In a traditional classroom, you might see very rigid curriculum. In a collaborative classroom, you take into account the students' interests and you base curriculum around that, according to GIQ. Now that I've talked about my 3 points, let's move on to the conclusion. In my speech, I looked at constructive learning theory, learning as an active process, and how to apply it in the classroom. Constructivism learning theory is a learning theory that has been brought. It's a new theory that has been brought in the late 80s to early 90s, and it is sweeping the world today. Remember this in the classroom next time as a learner or an educator. Thank you.